the build that is all about Super dealing out the damage here. It's just a question of MKOI. Can they stem out the game? Can they stem out the bleeding that you were concerned about with Cuz on something so heavily skirmish-based and that top side, and even the Caitlyn being so good in the lane?
Yeah, I think the Caitlyn not having the traditional range support paired alongside her does make her a little bit less threatening when it comes towards trying to get the access to the tower and that. So I think you should be fine as Super and Alvaro in this lane matchup to do kind of whatever you want. The only thing is it will make the linking up, like Jarvan and Lulu, not a crazy strong combo. Sure, when you get like access to level 6 and you can Cataclysm into walled growth for that double CC combo, it can be nice, but from a auto-attacking standpoint, it's not exactly where Jarvan's strengths lie. So I think the main focus here is going to be on trying just scale into a portion of the game. We have 2 items, 3 items. You've got good access to side lanes thanks to this Cassante and the Galio, and you then just try and play for these team fights with this Yunar enabled thanks to the Lulu.
Well, Daggers, we're about to get into game 3 of our first day of Swiss. I have one thing to say to the KT fans. You were rewarded. You were all rewarded for KT getting to this point. I am looking at Law across the way, because she and others like her got their just desserts with KT returning to the big stage. But now it's about if they can go further. Peter's going to start it off. There's a nice Winter's Bite, but fortunately Alvaro's near a heater. He cools off, or rather heats up. He just pokes out. Good attack. As he just gets some damage down. It's a little bit on the tier, and I should say Dagda, on the mana flow band, excuse me. But man, MKOI, what can they do here? It's single game. It's a best of one. They want that front to back. How the lane's going to go is obviously everyone's biggest question.
Yeah, I think so if I'm KT, what I'm going to try and do is operate off of this mid-jungle support. As a combo, this enables the Xin Zhao so incredibly well because the CC, the speed ups, everything just works so well together. And then you can force an isolation where Duckdam on this Caitlyn is able to try and fight against Supa. So if I'm KT, I'm going to try and find creative ways to link up as a unit. And we already talked about how MKOI don't exactly have the strongest jungle and support pairing. No. It is nice with JoJo, but you're lacking a lot of that DPS. So I think that's where KT going to try and find these moments to link up with their trio and use that advantage in the early game.
Well, already you also talked about the potential of invading. And for now, it's just a standard start from Cuz going from top to bottom, but again, when you have the Brom and Caitlyn, you expect that there could be a potential dive on the horizon, you know, with Brom as well. Very easy to lock in place with Trap on top. Onto Duckdam, Super just steps on up, but he does get heavily traded against. There's no tilt over Pacemaker that hits Super in the face, but still, at half HP for both AD carries.
And just the early ghost from Super, so we can try and use the fact he's just hit that empowered auto attacks and just get a nice trade down. And we'll continue to try and, as much as possible, now that he has E, take these auto attacks to both sidestep.
You talked about this. The lane's not as potent for KT because, again, we've got the Brom instead of something as well that can outrange, instead of something like the Karma or something, again, that can hit that Lulu in the face. Alvaro doing a good job of enchanting Super to just run at them.
And this will also open up then as both junglers going down towards the bottom side, that you should have the Jarvan that can Elioya that should be able to get the JoJo.
Yeah, he leveled up, so he got a bit of health back, but because Shield of Duran didn't connect, JoJo couldn't just hit and get out of there. BDD at full HP, and this is what you expect of the lane early. Range advantage being used well.
You can see Duckdam is trying to reset on this bottom side. Alvaro just being a nuisance to prevent him. Does have to be a little careful as Xin Zhao is on the bottom side. Again, though, I think opening up for Elioya, have a strong clear, should be able to get the crab and reset if he so pleases. But MKOI doing a decent job in bot lane, whereas mid lane, BDD making JoJo bleed.
Doesn't have much mana in the bar. That's the only saving grace. That Clockwork wind-up is doing work, though. JoJo's walking back in. Shield of Duran. Taunt is good for the Winds of War to get the level up and make sure that he can just TP back now.
Guz is leaving bot lane, though, and Elioya setting up for a dive here. That's the shield down.
Yeah, the Arclight is sent out as well. There's some good poke damage. Duckdam and Peter get to level 3. But the wave is instantly cleared out. It's a single wave. There's the flag. Now spotted out. Duckdam knows he's in trouble. Puts the traps down because Cuz is heading towards top. Dagda So Docdam does not have the support he needs. Peter's stuck around for the wave. He wants experience, and the main thing is it's not going to Docdam.
That's the point. Even though Elyoya could have looked potentially for the dive there, they don't want to. They know they're already getting the lead when it comes to the plates and also this CS advantage. This Caitlyn not looking good after this early stage, and Super and Alvaro playing this lane incredibly well.
That's a 30 CS lead. Sorry, 30 CS lead. You know what I mean? That's 30 to 20 CS. That
I wish it was.
I mean, that would be a statement from Super and Alvaro. If it really were. Perfect traded back. Mirwin is getting burnt alive up in this top lane, and you expect the crispiness to continue as Peter trying to stop it out from over the wall. Super going to be spotted out now, but Winter's Bite was just used. Alvaro on the run. Another Winter's Bite would slow him down, but Alvaro is going to get a chance to back, however slow.
Yeah, so Alvaro will get the reset. Again, though, I think you've kind of got this focus of, hey, now MKOI are in a really good spot when it comes towards the bottom side of the map. Jojo is surviving in this mid wave, and even though he's been pushed back a little bit, the CS is still fairly even. Even if it isn't, they aren't CSing as well as they could have, but still, I think you're pretty happy with that.
I think mid for Jojo, again, has been one of the biggest highlights in Europe. Not only just over this split, but the development that has happened over this year. The fact that he's even against this range matchup, against BDD, when he's the star of KT by far, is showing you why we've been hyping up this guy and his arc from winter to now.
Yeah, especially if he can tick over to level 6, which he's very, very close to, he does kind of become a safety net for these side lanes. Because again, I think you can already half see it starting of this roam with the Braum to try and get some advantages and see if they can get control over River for KT. But if that does continue, they should be in a decent spot.
There again, just a quick reminder. They talked about it a little bit on desk as well. BDD, obviously insane stats, but Jojo does come out of lane with a lead, and even though MKOI is a winning team, I think a lot of it is off the back of him. Cuz now trying to change it back in bottom lane. MKOI in trouble. Alvaro flashed away, and he burns a heal as well. They do get out of there. Super gets chunked on the way out, but look at where the wave is.
Again, this is kind of what KT want, though. Burning that flash makes Alvaro way more vulnerable. And I think KT aware that that's not pathing Alvaro would be taken if he didn't have a jungler nearby.
Pushing the wave out in the meantime. I don't think Elyoya was spotted out. A control ward is clearing all vision. The Pixel Brush, he does back away in the end, so no play used by MKOI. Again, the fact that the bottom lane survive and are just chilling out with this cull on this Yunara is still a big win. Super's still going to be holding a small CS lead. And I am surprised, actually. The only one who's down in CS here in this game is Mirwin. Naturally, again, because that was meant to be another winning lane, and it has been.
Still, though, KT using the fact that the unsealed spellbook advantage on Peter.
Hello.
Now looking mids, Jojo able to get away from everything there. This will give them control over towards the Void Grubs, though, and you can kind of see the reset now starting to come through for MKOI. But I think KT, with the early swap, going to be able to get this wave pushed in and should be first on towards the objective. And that should make things a little bit simpler for them if they can get control over the Void Grubs.
Obviously, no TPs available, so with that change, with that swap, we are going to be isolating our top laners, and Shield of Duran this time does connect again here for Jojo. We'll see if there's anything that leads to it. 45 seconds towards the Grubs. Let's see if those top laners move up with more meaning, and see if there is just going to be a drag and trade here in this game. We see no meaningful gold lead. We were talking about a little bit before, but this 2v2 is going to continue. This 2v2 is going to continue to be okay here for Super and Alvaro. I didn't expect to be highlighting this 2v2 lane Dagda, I'll be completely honest. I got worried when I saw Docdam on the Caitlyn, but so far so good.
But it's not the pick that you'd expect to see coming through from Alvaro. We kind of mentioned it, like he has not been a Lulu player. Even some of the positions he's had on Bard over the course of the split have been a bit suspect, even if he does get the wins on it. So the Lulu, I think, caught KT unaware. That's why you go for the blind Braum, expecting something like a Rel or an Alistair to
really
come
good
through.
point. As you said, engage is best. Speaking of engage, it's Elyoya. Okay, he's got a Cataclysm up and available, and Peter's caught out in the river. Cuz here to support, but Cataclysm comes down, enables Jojo. Cuz has to flash away, but the dunk for first blood from Jojo. Super runs into Docdam. Okay, he sends out the Arclight of Judgment. It's set for Elyoya to get another knock-up. Whittling away is Docdam, running for his life. Smited down, barriers there. Super wants to be in range. Elyoya tanked it up. The Arclight was close to a kill. MKOI almost at 2, but Elyoya will survive the ace in the hole as MKOI hit first.
But the fact that Elyoya took so much tower aggro means they can't actually go for the objective. MKOI will be able to push out this wave, but it will be KT that are getting these Void Grubs.
It It is a big objective to take away. We've got a lot of power in that Rumble, and a Caitlyn as well. For KT, it is a meaningful win despite the kill. The flip back though, Mirwan's gonna all out. Perfect, that's a flash away. An ulti for a summoner here in the isolated 1v1.
I think Perfect was kind of lucky that Mirwan didn't get the full reach over the wall into the alcove, or that could have been a very different story. But for MKOI, still pressure on the map. Over pushing on that top side though does give KT the objective and a little bit of a window now to get back out onto the map for us. Yoya though, moving towards this dragon, happy to at least answer for what was taken.
I guess they thought they were going to kill Docdam, and they thought with that, okay, no Caitlyn, and then we can get grubs, and you're right, that small inch of a health bar, plus the fact that Yoya took 2 turret shots, really hurt them in the end. So Dagda, 3 grubs versus Dragon might be the call here, because Yoya's already taking it. Kuz obviously resetting, he's going for his bot side clear. So there is an objective trade, and maybe a kill as well as BDD. Never mind, he gets phase rush, he gets out of it, as Alvaro makes the move.
The Lulu ganks are a little less threatening.
I was going to say, send a glitter, lads.
Yeah.
Send a pixie.
Yeah. You're slowed and can't catch you anyway.
No, I'm a squirrel.
But again, I like the presence that we're seeing from MKOI, right? It's even if they may have flubbed the topside play, it is still them controlling the pace of this game, which I think a lot of people would have been surprised at coming into this. They had good picks coming through with the Galio and the Jarvan. They managed to keep Supa into a relatively good spot with a nice little lead for himself. Even the Cole starting to pop in a little bit for him too. So if MKOI are looking at what are our win cons for this game, how are we working in that aspect, it seems pretty good at the moment.
Again, I mean, we've highlighted the bot lane enough, but they're surviving on their own legs. Jojo again got through the early parts of the lane, and now it looks like he's close to getting his first item as well to negate some of the magic damage coming through from KT's comp. And from BDD in this individual lane, Winds of War comes out, trying to clear the wave, Justice Punch away before a potential shockwave, even though Elyoy is nearby.
You're just going to TP back into the lane because he has the ultimate to try and move around the map, but just wanted to try and get as much gold as he could before he goes for the reset. Again, though, KT still have decent scaling in the composition, especially when it comes to the Orianna and the Caitlyn. So for MKOI, keeping the pace of this game up is going to be very important.
The Durand, pace is going to be there though. Justice Punch for the buffer. Hit by the Winds of Lightning in the meantime, but Kuz not going to audaciously charge. Jojo survives, and that was a good time D.
Yeah, well played on the Justice Punch to buffer. It means that Kuz even cancelling the reset there. And it gives Jojo a lot of control over this mid wave. So even if a potential gank does come true now, BDD doesn't have that as a safety tool to try and interrupt some of the plays from MKOI. You could end up burning this flash from BDD before some of these upcoming objective fights.
The only thing is the health bar and staying around in mid lane. It might lead to a bit of disastrous loss of experience and gold as well. Just hold out here for Jojo as meanwhile we're looking towards bot. Supa's going to hard clear this wave with, again, Elyoya in the vicinity. Trying to stop Docdam from basing at the very least. Elyoya looking for an angle, and BDD has flash, so you got to get rid of that first.
But this is what they want. They just want that flash gone, so then any of these upcoming fights, BDD then becomes a perfect target. Jojo trying to see if he can bait BDD in. Here we go.
Okay, Justice Punch in, Shield of Duran, BDD out of range. And the wave clear comes through eventually, but BDD still playing it safe, and I mean, they bullied. I remember they bullied Chovy in that round 2 that got them into Worlds. They bullied him over and over. When Chovy was playing the Orianna, it feels like BDD taking a page out of his book, making sure that the opposite, rather, he's just not caught out as Peter now moves to mid as well. No objectives up, Dagda, but just getting some deep vision here and trying to give Kuz that ability to really pressure this game.
You can see, though, MKOI are respecting the power of that trio that we were talking about with Peter, BDD, and the Zinzao as well for Kuz. Maybe they wanted to go for the Scuttle Crab, but the second they see all 3 members on the top side, they realize they want nothing for it, but damage!
Only one, Super jumps forward, he's got the Cat Mine, steps in, full Transcendent! He's Transcendent, ducked down for the solo kill!
The Kraken Slayer doing work, and MKOI winning out on the bottom side, and a BDD trying to see if he can push back MKOI as they start to take Vision River, but that's going to be so much gold to Supa, alongside the kill, the plate, and loss of minions for Docdam.
Meanwhile, MKOI, as they open up bot, I mean, Supa, he already picked up a plate before, but he's denying yet another wave, 1.1k. And this Caitlyn ain't like the last game we saw.
And the Cull hasn't even popped for him yet. That's going to be another burst of gold into Supa too. So across the board, Supa looking fantastic. And this was kind of what the talking point was for MKOI. They said it on the Euphoria podcast. They wanted to change their style to understand how to work through side lanes better. And now they always had this fallback plan of playing for Supa, playing for these massive team fights. Supa has been fantastic for this team. Hits the slow, pops the ult, and there's nothing Dokdam can do.
Holy damage. We're doing it again though. Elyoya is back down. The Arclighter Judgment slows him down. Dokdam's dead again. Super at 2 kills. I see you, Europe.
And that's the Feats of War picked up as well as now MKOI want to look for more pressure on towards this bot lane turret. KT trying to defend.
Trying, but can they is the biggest question here. There's Galio on the way down. 4 versus 2 it would be. And Orianna quickly behind. BDD needs to get there faster. Supa is still doing so much damage. Anyone steps up. The turret under fire. Peter puts up the Unbreakable at half HP. He's happy to step forward again and get that attack speed buff down. Cuz is just going to have to go back to his camps. The minion wave is cleared, but Supa so close to taking down first turret.
Yeah, he still wants to keep up the pressure on this bottom side. Dokdam is making his way in here, but I think still MKOI should just be able to brute force this, if not just move over towards the dragon as you see the pings going down. And Dokdam just needs to kind of sit here and hope that he can hold on, but he feels scared underneath the tower.
Peter's hovering around mid, so you know that Dokdam's just isolated. You got full vision of him. Supa's trying to deny the wave, and Dokdam all of a sudden is 30 CS down. I was right before I said 30 CS. And Supa's made it a reality as Dragon's going to go with it.
MKOI are playing this early game fantastically. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to keep up this pace as Alvaro just starting to pop his head into mid lane to make sure Jojo can farm it up. Rift Herald is taken, or he's been taken by KT, I should say, as Mirren TP back in, so MKOI may look for a contest here.
Supa's on the way up as well with Transcendence available. Shield is ran only onto Peter for now. The level 7 Rom in jeopardy. A double knock up here with Wild Growth. MKOI looking to advance, but they've used quite a lot. Flag and drag onto Kaz, who's isolated for the time being. Mirwin joins in as well. Redemption's going to come on down and give KT a bit of a lifeline. Jojo's just getting out of there, looking towards bot, while Dokdam doesn't want to join.
That's the thing, it's an empty threat from KT. They have the Caitlyn in the bottom side. It's a 4 versus 5. And they're still trying to contest onto this. You look at where this Galio is, just hovering with that ultimate available.
Jojo wants to jump in. If they find a fight, it's all for naught here from KT. They're soft advancing, but a flash on, a Cataclysm, and there's Jojo finally. Kuz sent packing, and now with the ulti out, Perfect's in trouble. Meanwhile, the side of the fight, Supa's picking up kills again. The superstar on the right, MKOI on the left, and 5 kills to 0. KT got nothing left.
KT were trying desperately to keep MKOI interested, seeing if they could buy time for Dokdam to get some gold on this bottom side, and he will get the tower. But you've lost so much on that top half of the map. 5-0 for MKOI. And now Jojo moving down towards this bottom side, but Dokdam's already got away.
Got to really ask ourselves, how much for KT is that going to be worth it? Good noticing there, Dagda, as Herald goes down. That turret brings some gold back, but Supa getting a kill. A big part of the fight as MKOI, watch how they forced it again.
KT didn't want to actually engage them. They're just like, hey, look, we're just going to try and poke onto MKOI, see if we can pull them away, buy as much time as possible. But they end up going that bit too far and don't respect the engage tools that can come through from MKOI. The engage from Elyoya is perfect as they set that one up.
We asked, how KT going to be coming into Worlds? Starting to get a bit of an answer here that in this early game, they're struggling to deal not only with the pressure that came through from bot, but also these fights, how easy they are to set up from MKOI, walking right into a trap.
And they had that huge upset against Gen.G, but as Vedi was saying on the desk, immediately 3-0'd by Hanwha, immediately then 3-0'd by Gen.G again.
Since.
Exactly, and MKOI kind of jumping on top of that and taking advantage of it here. But you always have to keep in the back of your minds, we've seen MKOI with leads like this and they haven't been able to follow it through. Now, it's been on compositions that were very different, weren't built around Supa, weren't trying to build around this team fighting. So we'll have to see if that version of MKOI has bounced back from winter and spring and they can settle into that nicely.
We heard Melzet on the whiteboard over the split put the word patience. It's been said, MKOI have to be patient against KT. No objectives are up. Elyoya is just trying to take away the blue buff and everything else that pertains within this topside jungle. And Kuz, you can see, He's at even XP with Elyoya. He's got a bit of a CS lead himself, but that might soon change with how much MKOI are taking away.
Yeah, MKOI are just trying to play off of 2 lanes at the moment and get vision in this top side, look to try and put pressure on towards mid and top turret at the same time. But KT, even though they lose the blue, are defending the space relatively well, especially as BDD moves down towards that bottom side to push out. It means that now MKOI have to move Jojo across.
Stepping up.
Oh, hang on.
Knockdown went up for this. Peter misses the ulti. Super kites it back. He transcended time and space for a little bit, and did he even Dagger is the biggest question.
No, that was just his Q.
He just walked up with Q. He's that strong right now with Renans, and Dokdam gets falls back.
But this is now the opportunity that MKOI needed, because you can now start to put pressure on towards this mid tower with KT having to reset as Jojo pushes out the bottom side. And basically KT are trying to play out through all 3 lanes and keep pressure up on the map for MKOI. But if you can have Super do things like that, it makes that ability for KT to play out across all 3 lanes much more difficult.
Been able to do anything of the sort so far, have they? Even that top lane lead, I mean, Mirwin's taking control back of that CS lead now against Perfect. Perfect had like 15, 20 CS in the first 10 minutes of the game. As Dokdam steps up to the wave again, I see a Super inbound. But he's going to pay respect this time. Alvaro also on the right side, so can't do too much. Steps up. There's some good poke from Dokdam, but regardless, he won't push his luck.
45 seconds until the Dragon, though, so already the resets coming through from MKOI, trying to control this space and make it difficult for KT to enter. Even moving Jojo Pyun in here, just to provide that front line as they set up the vision with Alvaro.
Be 3rd Dragon in 30 seconds, and for Dokdam, I bet he wish he could get that Infinity Edge that's sitting in his inventory, at least components of. Well,
He's too far behind.
He really is, and he won't have it for the fight. I mean, for KT, so do they send it, Dagda? Like, they just got to send it or what?
I think you just play, again, patience, he said it. Just let the Super do the work. You can see he's getting some good damage down, and now with Dragon in just 6 seconds, you half health Peter, so move over into a position where you can actually look at this objective.
Well, some flowers out there, maybe for the graves of KT in this 3rd game of the day. Peter's going to walk in on full vision. Cuz the same. Dragon going down there to teleport from Mirwin. It's going to be slow from Perfect if he decides to enter. They go towards mid anyway, but Mirwin's now zoning off the choke. Jojo on the other side. 3rd Dragon. It's not a soft contest. It's a full commitment with PP. Dokdam is sitting around mid, but MKOI are looking to collapse with the Winds of War. Perfect zoned out. Peter as well, but there's no true damage yet as MKOI try to find a way in.
There's Rift Herald on the bottom side, creating pressure. Is Jojo going to move across that? And MKOI are constantly threatening this Atakan as well. KT trying to brute force mid to pull MKOI in towards the mid lane.
Super's got Renans. He can clear this wave in an instant, so there's the play. Done and dusted. KT are going to ARAM a bit, while the Herald is NPCing a structure bot.
MKOI are just playing the map better. Again, it's keeping pressure on towards the bot tier 2. Jojo putting pressure through this bot side jungle, constantly contesting a flank position, so KT can commit to that mid tower and MKOI can get back into position. KT just look confused as to how they're supposed to break this version of MKOI.
Could have been Betty saying he got excited for KT. I don't know. I don't know what started off the day here for them. I wouldn't blame the Welshman, but then again, I wouldn't put it past you, so do what you must. When it comes to Worlds, I mean, we don't know what people's forms are, right? It's been a while. Patches change. For MKOI, you could say the same as Atakan might be a thought here. Let's get right into it as Elyoya decided to take a deep, deep gate. Peter's there waiting over the side, but he can flag and drag, and Atakan still seems to be the objective as Vision's cleared out.
Still, MKOI, I think just unsure of if they want to really commit towards this Atakan. It does reset, and they're moving Mirwin over. BDD on the reset, can TP in to join on this bottom side as Jojo caught by the Witch's Bite.
Hilda Duran, though, MKOI can peel off and join the fray. Winds of War, they jump in, but Super's just over there. Onto Cuz, he gets poked out a little. Mirwin, he's got a flank, but KT have seen him, I believe, on the edge of a ward. BDD teleports in, 5 members in front of Atakan, and Perfect has a spider sense.
Yeah, this is a little dicey from MKOI. Mirwin going to move back towards mid lane and try and keep up the pressure on towards that mid lane turret. KT may just start up the Atakan to try and draw MKOI in here.
Again, Mirwin looks for mid. He can get that push in. He's done so. He'll deny the minions and now move down. At 13k, it's slow. It ain't that fast. KT getting chunked and shredded with resistances. MKOI haven't been poked out yet.
Yeah, you can see MKOI setting up for the flank. They want to make sure they can get on towards BDD and Dokdam.
Here when all it takes is a set up with the path maker. Meanwhile, Cuz has been left by his team. The jump in there, Jojo's going to follow as well. Shockwave is big though. 3-man with a hot pot inside. MKOI ran in, it was a bait, it was a ruse, and Cuz drew them in. Flash from Docdam, ace in the hole. He sets it up now, and Super's in the ground. Cuz is a freaking genius.
The trap was set, and MKOI walked into it perfectly as BDD with the shockwave, as perfect with the Rumble ultimate, decimate MKOI where they stand.
I mean, I thought that guy was inting, but BDD, when you have him on his team, just play for his setup. Redemption's going to come down. Docdam gets hit at 3K. A steal looks hard. Elyoya looking to go in at Atakan. 15. Almost 14 flashes. They're in. Cataclysm steal! The king of the jungle from Madrid, baby! That's him!
The Spanish secret agent for MKOI gets in to steal away the Atakan and get a kill back. As MKOI now back out onto the map first as well, will start to get the lanes in their favor. It is a small silver lining though, because that was a near 4K gold lead that has come back to 500 as we get into this. You see, like, it's a great start on the fight. Mirwan's doing a ton of work on this backside, but everyone committing on towards Cuz to make it happen. The shockwave from BDD was huge. The follow-up with that ultimate from Perfect. And then Docdam, crucially, got three of these kills on the back of this fight, which then sets up for him now to be in a much better spot to actually deal some damage in this game. And Elyoya sneaking in.
Oh, he actually missed
fails.
the Q.
So yeah, doesn't get over the wall.
Maybe it's good that he missed the Q.
Probably was, to be honest. As he then gets over, Peter ends up going low enough that he can get the Cataclysm, smites it away, finishes off the support. He does kill Peter off the back of that as well. As mid tower now very low. Super taking some hits though.
You are right about the gold lead shrinking down, but remember Soul Point. Peter stepping up, Winter's Bite doesn't connect. BDD an insane shockwave. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe I should have given him more credit. I was just amazed that Cuz drew them all in. And BDD clapped his hands together. Did a bit of Thanosing as KT hover around mid lane. Remember, Super's still big. Cataclysm is a 3-man for Jojo as well. Peter caught in the middle. His Winter's Bite saves his life. And Shockwave only 1 man. As there's a hot pot in the middle once again. Super chunked down and Cuz has found his man. Super might survive for now, but then the wind becomes lightning once more. Mirwan's over the wall. He gets out, but KT have some life in them yet.
The patience that MKOI have demonstrated all game long has dissipated, and KT are punishing them so incredibly well. MKOI overforce, and flashes are burned, but it's MKOI who fall.
Super as well. He can't deal when Cuz can land on him, press that ulti, deny the burst, soon to follow. KT on the Baron now as well. They've stopped the soul push, and they're going to get this Baron uncontested. Elyoya's coming out of base for the Hex Gate. It's not even going to get him there anywhere close. He knows he's going towards the bot side. He's going to clear his camp, and KT land on 2.5k gold.
And look at that gold difference at the bottom of your screen. Super was so far ahead, and now instead it's this Caitlyn that is coming through. But you see here, MKOI go for the play, but Docdam able to net out. So you get the flash from BDD. Peter's fine just standing there, and that ultimate again, both from Peter and the the Rumble ultimate coming through, has completely shut down that play. And Super just not able to follow up in so many of these fights. It's over-forcing, going too far ahead, and not thinking about where Super is and how we can try and be a part of these fights.
And he stepped up, he gets crit. Docdam, an ace in the hole maybe, but he knows it wouldn't really hit. Alvaro's in front, but that opens up mid-turret. And even though he didn't get ahead early, it doesn't matter. That Caitlyn's still going to bloody scale.
Yeah, Docdam pretty happy now that the shoe's on the other foot, and Super having to go back to base. MKOI, they had this game under control, but KT are fighting back. And now with the Baron, they're going to get so much of this standing gold as well. And we talked already about the late game scaling that KT have. You can see the damage that this Caitlyn is already doing. MKOI need to find a way to stop us, but is it too late?
You're a Yunara. You know, as an 80 carry, as far as 80 carries go, like, yeah, your range is actually not bad. But is it a Caitlyn? No, of course. Like, Caitlyn, Orianna, you're walking into layers of zone control. How hard is it to play the game here? And especially with Baron, as this siege continues with Red Bull Baron power play, at 2.6k. It stands for now, but an inner turret in this bot lane is going to be up next, and Docdam is critting these turrets, man. He's headshotting them, and they're going down quick.
Jojo going to try and push in mid, look to take the mid lane tower. KT trying to collapse on him before he can do so. One auto.
That is a nice take.
Still a collapse, though.
Yeah, he's going to ulti out. I think that's a good call. Perfect was there around one side, the rest of KT another.
KT, they're going to reset, spend all that gold that they just picked up. Zhonya's Hourglass very close to being completed for BDD. And again, you already kind of said it, like Supa is still incredibly strong in this now that he's got the Infinity Edge completed. But I just don't know if he's strong enough to compete with everyone, especially if a couple of those wayward headshots from Docdam can pick him off. MKOI needed to be patient, and now it's KT who are stepping up, full control, and a lot of standing gold to take.
Well, that's going to be brightening on the whiteboard for the event. KT, I mean, it was such a clutch factor that came in as well. Full respect for BDD for finding that shockwave, for Docdam for fighting back in this game. And now again, this siege will continue with the last of Baron. 20 seconds left to use it, but it's already 4k. Flag in, Elyoya thinking about his angle though after last time he thought he had a winning play. He thought he found a pick. He needs to get a powerful Cataclysm and lay it up perfectly.
But who do you try and go for? BDD
right
now has that Zhonya's Hourglass completed, even though he doesn't have flash up. Docdam still has his flash. Everyone, apart from Peter, has their flash. So your targets are disappearing. Instead, MKOI are saying, look, we're just going to try and push in on these middle lanes instead and try and find something back instead.
It's just slower though, isn't it, Dagda? I mean, there's no grubs in MKOI's pocket. They forego. Let's try English. They lost that early. Foregone. They were a foregone conclusion, at least when they were up. And because of that, Jojo doesn't get the push he wants. Inner still stays standing. I mean, it is nice macro for MKOI when they are so far behind now. But it does feel like, again, you know, maybe a pick that's set up, maybe a fight on their terms. A minute till the next dragon comes up. This one a contestable one? I don't know, you're going to have to tell me.
But still, KT, like, it was BDD stepping up for this roster across playoffs with some of these other members. But again now, at Worlds, huge shockwave to turn this game around. And he is now once more a massive point of contention here. The control that he offers with Docdam's free to play up here because he has the speed ups with BDD, he has the shield from BDD, and the ability to now control these entrances into River are going to be massive for any of these upcoming dragons. Again, I think if it's MKOI, they just have to try and bypass them and go for this split push once more.
Flags out from Peter. Celestial Blessing down. It's small, but at least it's something. However, for Supa, as he goes towards what looks like an Immortal Shield Bow there, he needs more defensive items. He needs them sooner. That Dragon foregone conclusion, that's 10 seconds up, and you can see MKOI are just trying to put their pinky toe in the bath, but it's way too damn hot.
They're hoping for a pick. Basically, Jojo sit on vision if they try and move through this choke point in jungle. Maybe you can flash over the wall, but the taunt goes for it.
Just
looks
a punch,
like Peter
equalizer down. Jojo wants a way out. He flashes over the wall. Ace in the hole. Perfect's going to match the flash. Shield to Duran. A taunt out as well. He gets phase rush, but he's getting burnt asunder. Lucky to be alive is the Galio. There was a bit used from KT, but Jojo now with nothing up.
Yeah, MKOI, kind of a fake contest there, looking to see if they can just take these turrets on the sidelines and again be a nuisance, but Jojo having to burn so much to get away from that play. KT again, Dragon taken. They're looking so strong in this one.
Maybe it's something, maybe in the end, the fact that Jojo got out Dagda, maybe feels okay. I mean, that's 4k the lead now. It was like 1,500 gold because of top turret, because of jungle taken. So I'm weirdly optimistic on the play, but at 30 seconds till Baron, obviously, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. That's a 4-item Caitlyn. BDD also 4 items on the horizon. Speaking as far as elephant goes, that's a colony. That's a family of elephants. I don't know what they're called as a group, but I see some elephants.
Especially if you can finish this rabbit on death cap for BDD, he just becomes so massive. For MKOI, do you just... Oh, Supa!
That was a crit. Supa needs to get out of there. Elyoya alongside with him. Mirwin too. They're running for their lives. Mirwin had to flash for that as well.
Was on the flank.
Tags him. Alvaro, he's the one almost. Wind becomes lightning. Cuz re-engages on the minion wave. They've got priority. And with that chunk, it feels like Baron might come with it.
Jojo in behind them, though. MKOI going to look for the flank and see if they can all in on this, it looks like.
It would be a miracle. Mirwin needs a flip. They need the right target. The engage from Cuz. The all-in. Elyoya finds backline. Under Docdam. They're there, but where's the damage at? It's all up to Supa, who's getting burnt asunder with 1 kill already going down. Elyoya sacrifices his life. Peter jumps in. Supa re-engages with the wild growth, but it ain't enough. KT, we got excited for a reason. There ain't no false hope here.
There was just not enough in the tank for MCoy. And KT, they looked a little bruised, but they will stride forward into the base of MCoy.
Just remember, BDD got glazed for a reason. And here at the start of Worlds, they'll break that little curse. Not a game won since their qualification to this event, but they'll start off the right way. They'll put LCK's name first, and we are looking exciting on KT.
It looked good to begin with for MCoy, but that man in the mid lane for KT shut down those hopes fast. BDD once again stepping up, and the man is just so damn good.
Yeah. I mean, not just that, but the recovery. I mean, Peter's a great support. I think they've been talking about him in the lead up to this event, and analysts and